Eric Campbell is the Chief Executive Officer of MainStreet Property Group. MainStreet Property is a leading real estate development firm that is dedicated to the creation of landmark properties throughout the Puget Sound region. Eric is also the chair of the Runstad Advisory Board. Hello, Eric. Thanks for coming on with us today.
Hi, Jeff. Great to be here.
So my name is Tony Tran.
I don't know how much we have anything planned, as much as how lucky we are to have had that department. It's really, I think I've been involved with the Runstad board for almost 12 years now. And this has resulted in we've started off with the Runstad as a center just for research. Then morphed in, we launched a graduate program. And then finally, we've launched this undergraduate program, which is really growing spectacularly, which is now 120, almost 130 undergraduate students, and then another 80 in minors. So in total, I think we're now in excess with our graduate students, over 250 students participating. And what that's done when being on the chair, the one thing we really focused on is really improving the student experience. And I think, I mentioned earlier, like Tony's one of the, examples of us really having not only us helping the students, but the students taking the initiative and being the leaders. And like in the case of the real estate club, with Tony and Nolan, they've really turned this thing into where the students are a lot more involved with industry. And as a chair of the advisory board, that's our job, is to really bring in some of the most talented people throughout the region involved in real estate, anywhere from developers, architects, people in title, bankers, and a whole assortment of individuals. We even have landscape architects, and and of course we have commercial real estate and residential brokers. And so what we've been doing is really focusing on how we make the student experience that much better. So the real estate club has had a lot more energy put forth on it, and our job is to assist the students. And then one of the big things that I think has really happened, and I'll touch upon this after I get done, a couple other comments, is that one thing we said, well, how can we as a board make the students even have a better learning experience? And that one part was we launched through the leadership of Shannon Underwood, was the mentor program. And this is now where we put each graduate student, they get a mentor from the advisory board to have a one-on-one relationship. And our hope is not only will that give the student an opportunity to not only meet with that one mentor, but give them, open up doors, be it something like a real estate conference, introduce them to 5-10 more people, instead of having to be the shy person in the room, put them forward, give them a lot better experience in conferences, and then also open the door for internship opportunities. And I think one thing we do know, there's so many opportunities in the real estate industry, but it's just connecting people. And by having a mentor, we're able to connect people with whatever they're trying to do for a new job opportunity. And that's already paying out dividends quite a bit. Yeah. So I would say that the two things we really launched is that under the student experience umbrella has been the mentorship, and the real estate club is really making it quite a bit more lively for the students. Now, the professors, and I would say under our acting chairs, Sophia Dormicia, what's really gone on even more so is now through this quite a bit larger undergraduate program, I think the growth of our affiliate professors has just been tremendous. And one of the things that I think as we talk to people and say, well, what's unique about the University of Washington? And I think one thing we've always thought is that our unique urban location, being only 3 light rail stops from downtown Seattle, and having all this development all throughout is really a great laboratory for our students to really experience. And this gets back to my earlier comment about the mentorship and opening up the doors through it, internships, because we have people that can start on working for a general contractor all the way through even working for the University of Washington or working for developers like myself. I think one of the great things is sometimes these projects can be as simple as doing a quick market study, but working on a real project, so it's not theoretical. We can actually see if rents actually, or how does a developer do proper analysis to know if a project's going to be should be built or not. But I think I could go on and on, but I would say the one thing about the Runstad program, the momentum is fantastic. We're fortunate to have so many great people involved, be it from the advisory board, be it through the professors, and of course the leadership of our dean. Renee is doing a fantastic job at bringing so much, and I think it's one of those things, right time, right place, and we're really fortunate to be located not only at a great university but at a great world-class city.
I agree. And just as you mentioned, the combination of the affiliate faculty like Shannon Offletter and Tim Overland and Pete Stone, who taught the classes, and all the blend of the people coming in from the industry for that real world experience that's really active out there, blended with it, as you mentioned, Sophia, and then you have, Greg Colburn and, other people that are, the professors in the program. So having gone through it and seen it firsthand, the mixture there was great. And then the advisory board to come back that up and the mentorship. So I was blessed to have been able to go through it. Tony's going through it now. I mean, it's on a really high note and going forward.
Yeah, and I think, as you outlined, there's just so many great things that are going on. And what's kind of like unique, and, Tony, I think you can even attest to this. Just last week, we had our annual leadership dinner. We're very fortunate. We had Lisa Picard, the CEO of EQ Office, come speak to us. And just having that opportunity, and not just having the great leadership people throughout the industry, but we had at each table, we had a student. And that's, again, why we're so focused on trying to bring the students, into the industry and just, so they themselves can see, the skill sets that are available and also required to, you saw right there, Lisa Picard having to give an address to over 350 people. So now Tony knows he has to improve his presentation skills just a bit.
I think that helped a lot. I really loved going to that dinner and being able to shake hands and meet everyone in person and meet so many new people too. And just realize how big and small the real estate industry is in Seattle.
Tony, that is such a great observation. That's so true. We've always said it's amazing how small it is, but it is quite large also. But it's amazing. It's less than 6 degrees of separation in this city. I would say it's probably 2 degrees separation.
Well, it starts off with a couple just thank yous from the Real Estate Club and from myself. That last event on Tuesday couldn't have gone any better. And it was mostly in part to funding by you and Jeff. And as just a last big thing in the Real Estate Club, it went really amazing. And I think we're transitioning into our new leadership team soon.
Right.
So I was glad to have one last big thing for the club, and it felt really great to get one in person.
So let me ask you a question about that, Tony. So that Real Estate Club, that was a joint presentation with the Sales Club up at Foster, correct?
Yes. It was meant to be a merger event. It ended up just being about 5, 6, maybe 7 Sales Club members coming by. And we had about 70 real estate members come by.
Oh, wow. 70 people. That's incredible participation in the Real Estate Club.
Yeah, it went really, really well. And that's 2 to 3 times bigger than any event we've ever held for the club. So ecstatic about that.
Good. Great job. That was incredible.
And great venue, great catering, great speaker. Everything was amazing. It was perfect. And then Barry got to speak too, and he's dynamic and open, and he's a great speaker. And it's fun to listen to him. But yeah, the club's been amazing. We have a lot of new membership. Not everyone's had a chance to come out to some of the events, but we're pushing to get more in-person events and promote some of the events that are coming up. Seaport tomorrow.
Oh, really? You guys want to go all the way down there, huh?
Yeah. We have a party bus with Tarragon.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty.
How come they're not taking you on a boat? They should be taking you down on one of the That's great.
Merch and a party bus, and we get to go down there all together, and it'll be pretty great.
Good, fantastic.
So things like that, just the club's been really amazing, and we've had our consistent speaker series, people coming in and just doing most of this, just the back and forth.
Good.
Really, really proud of where the club's ended up this year.
Well, you should be proud, because I mean it's a testament to your, and I think this is always the unique challenge with the real estate club, because it is student led. We want to provide the support in the background, but give the students an opportunity to be leaders. And by what you and Nolan and everyone has leaned in, it gives you guys incredible. I mean, my hunch is you have incredible confidence now to make a few more phone calls, and you know what you can do for, when someone asks you, well, what's relevant experience do you have? You have a lot of relevant experience just by putting together those great programs and speaker series. So congratulations to yourself.
Yeah. And kind of on that note, I just really loved your story. It's basically the story I'm looking to have in the future. I came into UW and took a couple community planning classes. Real estate wasn't a thing until junior year, so that's when my real estate, adventure started. I worked with a residential developer, did some mixed use buildings over the summer. Obviously worked with Windermere at the same time. And end goal is to build my own master plan community, my own little city, and that's as a developer or aspiring developer, that's the dream. So I just kind of wanted to hear more about what that project looks like, what that feels like, and what kind of problems you have with that.
Well, okay, and this will tie in really well. So here's what's interesting is, you'll hear all these people talk about different analogies for a real estate developer. Many people will say similar to a movie producer. You got to know a little bit about acting. You got to know how to hire a good director, but you have to understand the finance. I mean, there's all these elements that come into play to become a really good real estate developer. And the question is, how do you go about and really develop the core competency? And I think one of the things is, it always kind of depends upon what the first opportunities are, and you dive in and you excel. Working hard matters no matter what, and especially in the real estate development world. And so I think this is one of the great things about the Runstad program. It teaches you how important the collaborative problem-solving approach is. And by being in the school-built environment, you already are surrounded by architects, construction management, urban planners, and landscape architects. And these are all the different disciplines you're going to have to work with. And so I think, to anyone who asks me, well, how do I start my own career? Well, everyone's different. Every circumstance is different, and it always kind of depends upon timing. The one thing I would always say is you want to put yourself in a position where you have as much opportunity learning for someone, and getting yourself up to what I would call trying to manage a P&L, i.e. really be in charge of the profit and loss for a project. So you really take on that level of accountability, you learn, and ideally working for someone else, as you get up to that stage, then you will start to understand, okay, where's your core competency? Where are you really good at? And you kind of figure out, well, what part of real estate should you pursue? Even as a developer, I mean, some people might like, single family. Some people might like doing multifamily. Other people want to build skyscrapers. And really, it's really your best to do is to kind of follow what you really love. And I think that's one of the things is, try frequently, and make sure you love what you're doing. And if you don't, move on until you find that. But like all guys like myself, we're so out of touch with how tough it is to start when you're 22 or 23, and that's why I think one of the great things is you can always reach out to the alumni throughout the Runstad program. They're a little younger, and they're just starting to get their legs underneath them. And that's a lot of ways I find to be better for students than talking to someone like myself, because I mean, Jeff could tell you too, we probably forget how tough it is. I do remember some of those sleepless nights when I was 23 and 24 trying to get approvals from the city of Kent. So, but it is, my feeling is, you can always reach out to myself, or and kind of tell me what you're looking for. But I've been fortunate. I think through my career, I think we have 3 or 4 people who have worked for me that run their own company, or 3 or 4 other individuals who are presidents of large home builders in this region. And they are always looking for great talent. They love the Runstad program. They love the University of Washington construction management program is highly rated. So the whole College of Built environment, it has incredible respect, not only from people within Seattle, but even at a national level. We have people who, when they find out that there's a graduate coming out of the University of Washington, they're getting extra attention. So just let me know what you're looking for. I'll put you in contact with some of the right opportunities.
Will do. I will definitely do that.
Okay, good. That's what we're here for.
Help us understand your background and how you connected with the UW Real Estate Department.
So my experience in real estate was kind of like so many of us that are a little bit older, kind of a circuitous route. When I was at the University of Washington, up at the back then the business school, I had the opportunity to take a urban planning course down at Gould Hall, and that combined with an internship selling real estate was when I started my career in, I think, my junior year in college. And it's kind of an interesting thing because our family had been in banking, and one of the things they have always told me when I was quite a bit younger was, if you're going to be a banker, you got to understand real estate. And I had the opportunity to work on a new home community site. So when I was 20 years old, interest rates had gone from 12.5 to 10.5. I had my trusty HP 12C, might be still the same old one that I have now. And it was amazing. We were selling houses from $85,000 to $99,000. It was cheaper to own a house than it was to rent an apartment. So I looked pretty smart back then as a kid in college. So that was how I started my career, just as an intern, selling new homes.
And so can you tell us more about your role and mission at MainStreet Properties?
Yeah, so MainStreet Property Group is a company that we formed back in 2011 when I was previously the founder and president of Campbell Development, which was one of the largest new home builders in the Puget Sound region. And during coming out of the Great Recession, we were very fortunate. We were one of the few home builders that was profitable, and we were contacted by an investment banking firm, Zelman and Associates. And long story short, they asked us if we would be interested in selling or going public. And my partner, who was my CFO at the time, who's now my partner at MainStreet, Kelly Price, said I had no business ever running a publicly traded company. So I said, if I even want to get out, I should sell. And so we sold Cam West at Toll in 2011, but very fortunate that we kept, we had a carve out, and we were still able to pursue our multifamily and commercial, and that became MainStreet Property Group. And so my role there is the chief executive officer. We have really 4-5 different companies kind of within that MainStreet umbrella. We have our kind of our mixed use development projects, which is a form of 5/2, which you see throughout Bellevue, Kirkland, Redmond, and Bothell and Kenmore is where we primarily focus. And there I just kind of serve more, kind of help by a high level strategy. That team's really well dialed. Then we have a general contracting firm, GenCap Construction. That I'm really just more of an owner, help out the team a bit, but there are a bunch of capable individuals. And then probably the other company I spend my most time on is our master plan community across the Port Orchard area called McCormick. And that one I'm have to get quite a bit more involved in because it requires a lot more land planning and a lot more on the land design and marketing, which is kind of one of my passions. And so a lot of different things we're doing, a lot of fun. It's kind of an addictive business.
Yes. All right. Well, changing and pivoting over a little bit. So About you, do you have a favorite book, charity, hobby? What are you
Well,
passionate about?
I got so many things I'm passionate about, but all people, of course, like all Northwest kids, I love to ski, love to boat. But when you were asking me, well, what's the one book? And even though I'm always been a kind of a big time business strategist, I have this one book at literally a senior year in the urban planning class. I stumbled across this book, and I don't know if you can see that, Housing as People Matter. It's, almost 40 years old. And that was my first introduction into really how you have to learn to listen to people. And this book was a series of 250 design guidelines put together by two professors. And really what they were looking at is, why did so many projects get built that didn't even listen or talk to their tenants, which we would call our customers. And that was kind of my first introduction, saying you really got to apply all your marketing strategies, all your market research to housing. It's not, housing is not construction. It's really retail, right? It's all about a person. And that's who we are building all these great projects for. And the reason why, I bring up that book, I think one of my real passions has always been is being a continuous learner. And that's why I love giving back to the University of Washington. It's a great, opportunity to spark the interest for all our students, and even like all our affiliates. We all know the more we learn, the more we give back, because it's a complex world. But the only way to solve these things is be able to push ourselves forward and lean in. And so that's one of my kind of fun examples of just it's you'll never know what you learn unless you're out there trying.
So if people want to connect with you, learn more from you, how do they get in touch? How do they get in contact with you?
Well, there's two things. Always, reach out via LinkedIn is an easy way.
Sure.
You just go ahead and I'll go out there and accept it. And you can try emailing me. My email address is Eric, ERIC, at mspgroupllc.com. That's Mother Sam Porter, for MainStreet Property. And now sometimes I get bombarded by emails, and I also, I wish I was better, but there are times also I'll look and I go, oh my God, I opened it up, I forgot to respond. So if I don't respond, send me another one. It's not because I'm not trying to be, I'm just not as, let's say, as organized with all these emails as I should be. So that's just a small truth point.
Understood. Well, thank you for coming and talking with us.
By all means, it's a real pleasure to be able to talk to both yourself, Tony, and Jeff. Thank you again for having me on.
Well, thank you, Eric.